Jesus, creator, sustainer, and God in the flesh. Have you ever wondered about the origin of everything? From the farthest galaxies to the smallest particles that make up our bodies, the Bible offers a profound statement in Colossians 1:16, 17. For in him all things were created, things in heaven and on earth, visible and invisible, whether thrones or powers or rulers or authorities. All things have been created through him and for him. He is before all things, and in him all things hold together. If this is true, it raises deep questions about Jesus. Was he just a created being, or is he truly God? Let's explore this together. The text makes two claims that demand attention. Jesus created all things. Jesus existed before all things, and holds everything together. If Jesus is not God, how do we reconcile these claims? To skeptics and non-believers, if Jesus were merely a created being, how could he create all things? Wouldn't that exclude him, as he himself would need to be created first? And if he is before all things, doesn't that imply he existed before time, space, and matter, attributes typically reserved for God alone? What do you think? Leave your thoughts in the comments. Let's examine some additional scriptures that reinforce the divine nature of Jesus. In John 1:1-3 we read, "In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. He was with God in the beginning. Through him all things were made. Without him nothing was made that has been made." This passage echoes the claims in Colossians. It identifies Jesus, the Word, as both the Creator and God. If he is the source of all creation, how could he himself be created? Hebrews 1:3 further expands on this idea. The Son is the radiance of God's glory, and the exact representation of his being, sustaining all things by his powerful word. This scripture clarifies that Jesus not only created everything, but actively sustains it. He is the exact representation of God, not a lesser being or a created one. Let's pause and reflect. If Jesus is sustaining all things by his powerful word, this means he is intimately involved in the ongoing existence of the universe. From the orbits of planets to the cells in our bodies, everything depends on him. Some might point to passages like Proverbs 8:22-31, which describe wisdom as being created. Couldn't this suggest that Jesus, often associated with divine wisdom, was created? Here's the key distinction. Proverbs describes wisdom as a personification, not a literal being. The broader context of Scripture clearly distinguishes Jesus as uncreated and eternal. Isaiah 9:6 calls him Mighty God and Everlasting Father. How could these titles belong to someone who is not eternal? Consider this. The galaxies spinning in space. The laws of physics holding our universe together. Even the breath you're taking right now. Paul claims in Colossians that Jesus is the one holding all of it together. Does this sound like the work of a created being, or does it point to someone who transcends creation itself? Some might still wonder, couldn't Jesus have been an angelic being given the power to create? What about other religious texts that describe creation differently? Yet Colossians doesn't leave room for this interpretation. The text specifies all things, visible and invisible, created through him and for him. No exceptions, no qualifications. Revelation 22:13 provides a powerful closing thought. I am the Alpha and the Omega, the first and the last, the beginning and the end. Jesus claims titles that belong to God alone. If he is the Alpha and Omega, there is no one before him and no one after him. Colossians 1:16-17 invites us to reconsider who Jesus is. If he truly created and sustains everything, he is not just a historical figure, he is God in the flesh. So I ask you, if Jesus isn't God, how do you explain his role as the Creator? If he isn't eternal, how could he exist before all things? Your questions and comments could lead to an enriching conversation. Let's explore the truth together. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more thought-provoking content. Your perspective matters, so leave a comment and let's continue the conversation.